That's me, plain old Nancy B. How are ya? Woo! Oh, I'd like to hear that. Me too. I was so surprised on the freeway. I live in Santa Clarita, and I always tell everybody it's not a problem because it's Sunday morning at 7:15, 7:30. There's nobody on the freeway but a half a dozen 18-wheelers. Well, I don't know who they told that it was summer, but everybody was on the freeway this morning. I thought, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be home in bed. I'm the one supposed to be on the freeway here. So that was very interesting. And it was awesome. I love it. So, source of abundance. We're talking about the source of abundance. And so I decided to look up the words, source and abundance. So source is the root, the cause, the origin, the seed, the womb. But where it got really exciting was when I got to the word abundance. Plenty, bountiful, luxurious, lavish, inexhaustible, and immeasurable. So what, yeah, exactly. So what in your, just took the whole thing, is it work? Is it still working? I just took it apart. It's still working. That's amazing. So what can you think of that you would say is inexhaustible, that you can't run out of? Speak it out, I can't hear you. God, love, abundance, peace. What about air? What about the ocean? You know, I mean, when I'm thinking inexhaustible and immeasurable, I mean, come on. How big can it get? As big as the galaxy, right? As big as the universe, exactly. So the source of our abundance is what causes us to experience lavish, bountiful, luxurious, plenty. Somebody said wealth is the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it. So how's that working out for you? Because, and I hope you've all got this absolutely nailed, and you are so strong in every area of your life. And if that's so, that's really good news, because I can go home now, because you've already got it. What I've noticed in my own life is that, Reverend Dr. Mellon, who is the founder of the Global Truth Center in Westlake, teaches around the four legs of the table. So the four legs of the table are relationships, body or health, finances, and career or creative expression. So that's the four legs of your table. What I've noticed for myself is that I can honestly, truthfully say that 2 or 3 of my legs are really strong. One of them is also always a little wobbly. So I don't know which one I would say is wobbly today. So think about what of the 4 legs, relationship, finances, career, body, is the strongest for you right now? And which one do you want to work on? So you got to know that, so you know where you're going and you know what you want to work on. So in 2024, I found myself in the midst of a little financial squeeze. I found that I was running out of months before I was running out of money. And I decided to do something about it. So I signed up for an abundance class. I got John Randolph Price's abundance book. I did the 40 days. I got it, and then a good thing happened. I got my second housemate. That just about doubles my income. That was a yoo-hoo! And as an actress, I get residual checks for stuff I did for Star Trek in the 21st century in the 80s. And sometimes they're for 15 cents. And Edwene Gaines says, you don't say, that's not it. You say, here it comes! So when you find a penny on the sidewalk or a dime on the sidewalk, whatever, you don't say, that's not it. You go, here it comes. And then you get excited because your emotions are energy in motion. My emotions, say my emotions are energy in motion. And nothing will move unless you move it with your energy. And by that I mean your passion, your excitement, your joy, your all of that good stuff. So I was getting residual checks, and they were coming almost every day. You know, $20, $40, $30. I was so happy and grateful because I could see that the abundance was coming. And then I got a call from my manager. So when I was in the hospital 4 times in 2020, I quit my career. I fired my agent. I took all the pictures back and stopped going out, all that kind of stuff. But my manager and I'd kind of become friends, so she'd call me every once in a while, and I go, no, not ready. Mm-mm. Because in the business, you got to know you can do a 12-hour day, and you've got to be at your peak performance every hour and every minute of that day. You can't phone it in, right? And I knew this body wasn't ready. But I always said, if somebody asked for me, then I would do it. So somebody asked for me. So I had to do it. So I hadn't worked in 4 years, and I did the audition, and I didn't hear anything. So I was working with Rick Tamlin, who's the author of The Bigger Game, and he's the only person I told. Why? Because it's a shot in the dark. If you know anything about the business, if you know anything about auditioning, if you know anything about that, you know that you go and 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 go, and then you get something. You don't just do one audition after 4 years. And so he said, well, you didn't hear anything, huh? Guess you didn't hear anything about the... And I said, oh, they haven't decided yet. See, that's a turnaround. This is my old victim self. My old victim self would, yeah, I should have worn the green dress instead of the blue dress. And I should have parted my hair on the right instead of the left. It's all me, I know. But I didn't do that. I had a big turnaround. Huge breakthrough, huge. I said, they haven't decided yet. So 2 days later, my manager calls me, and we're talking about her kids and my kids and their kids and everybody's kids. And all of a sudden, she says, you got it. I said, what? She said, you got it. You got the, I said, 3 days on a feature film, SAG feature film, 3 days. I couldn't have stopped laughing. I thought it was the biggest joke, and talk about abundance. You know, it SAG, you're gonna make some money. I'm gonna get a few $1,000s. I'm jumping up and down. So I worked 3 days, 2 days 1 week, and then 1 day the following week, and it was heaven. It was heaven. It's a feature film about the, oh gosh, the Weezer Band. The Weezer Band was huge in the 90s, rock and roll kind of stuff. And so they did a tour it's a film within a film, so it's a documentary within a film. And so anyway, I got to meet all the guys, and I got to go to the home of the drummer, whose name is Pat, meet his wife, and we filmed in his home the last day. All of that I was on cloud 9. Then my manager, check came in, and my manager called, and she said, you know, I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can have you work 2 days in 1 week and 1 day on the next. She said, I'm going to call SAG and find out. Guess what? They didn't book it right. They had to pay me for 2 full weeks. Hold on to your seatbelt. The gross was $13,000. I put over $7,000 in my savings account. That's miraculous. Miraculous. So what could you borrow from my successful experience that you could apply right now to wherever you're at, to the situation that you're at? So I broke it down. And the first thing I wrote was that I made a decision, but that wasn't right. The first thing I did was pray. Pray for guidance. Because you don't know. When you're in the middle of it, you are in confusion land. You have no clue. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to call. You don't know where to go. Nothing. You're just like, blah, nothing, neutral. Your car is in neutral. It's not going forward. It's not going back. It's just stuck. So the first thing I did is pray for guidance. And when I got it, I made a decision. I made a decision to do something about it. Now, your decision has to be unequivocal. No plan B to fall back on in case plan A doesn't work. You've got to decide that this is what you're doing no matter what. Say that with me. No matter what. You made that decision, no matter what. And then, once I made the decision and got some guidance, then what did I have to do? I had to take action. I had to move my feet, do your treatment and then move your feet. I had to move my feet. And so if you've done the first 2 steps, if you prayed and asked for guidance and you made a decision, then your next steps will just come. It'll be so easy. But here's the 4th thing that I added, consistency. So it's like exercising for your body. You know this. 20 minutes a day is better than 2 hours on Saturday. You can go in and sweat and say, oh man, I worked 2 hours. Look at me, look. You're not going to get the results that you want. 10 minutes a day is better than 2 hours on Saturday. So consistency. So I wrote out what I wanted, and I spoke it every night, and I spoke it every morning with what? Passion. Because like my Camry, I just got repaired. It was sounding like a bucket of bolts, and I was terrified it was going to fall apart on me. 2011, I bought it in 2014. Took it to my mechanic. He said, it's the compressor. He fixed it. It was a lot of money. And it sounds like a brand new car. I said, I'm driving to Bakersfield. I can't drive this bucket. I'm so thrilled. It's driving like a brand new car. But if I don't put gas in that brand new car, I'm not going to go anywhere. So the gas that you put in it is first your prayer, then your decision, and then your action and your consistency. The consistency will win the game for sure. So in the Abundance Book by John Randolph Price, he wrote this: your only source is the God presence within you, which Anne spoke of earlier. If your mind is focused on the source, the cause, your supply will flow freely. But if your mind is on the effect, you block the flow. So that's what happens. So it's saying that the less interested you are in where your money comes from, the more focused you'll be on the source, which is where all of it comes from, the God presence within you. So pray to that, pray to the all that is, because the source is infinite in its miraculous ways to bring your good to you. I could not have dreamed up. First of all, I couldn't have dreamed 3 days in a feature film after having worked for 4 years. And secondly, who could have dreamed? I mean, I was thrilled with 3 days in a feature film. And you know why she did that? Because when I retired in 2020, I kept sending her commissions on every residual check I got. And I know I'm not legally bound to do that, but in my heart I am, because I wouldn't have had them if it hadn't been for her. So it was my joy to do that. So I stepped up my tithing, my consciousness around tithing, because I wanted to be certain that I was doing what I needed to do. So here's a quote by Dr. Christian Sorensen from Living from the Mountaintop that is the perfect definition for source energy. And it goes like this: the infinite is not bound by sequential unfoldment. So that means, 2 follows 1 and 3 follows 2 and 4th, A, B, C. It's not like that, is it? I went from no work for 4 years to 3 days on a feature film, just like that, boom, boom. So 1 minute you don't have it and the next minute you do. That's like this intuition that gives you information that you can't reason with in your mind. Your reasoning mind did not get you there. It all of a sudden says, oh, and then you're like, oh, the light bulb just went on. I could do that. I could call them. I could go there. I could go online. I could do some research. I could get that book. I could call a friend. I could do something like that. Absolutely. I love that. And it said that what that says to me, oh, here's the second part. So the infinite isn't bound by sequential unfoldment. It is one and everywhere present already. So there's no place for it to go. So what that says to me is whichever choice you make, it's already there. If you go A, it's there. If you go D, it's there. If you go Z, it's there. If you go Y, it's there. It's everywhere present. There's nowhere you can go that it is not present. But we have to consciously know that and call it forth. It's like tuning into your FM station. When I go from Santa Clarita to Bakersfield, at some point, I have to remember to change my radio because all the stations start going, and I'm not hearing music anymore. And if I don't change the station and tune into what I want, I'm just going to be left with a bunch of mess. And I don't want that. I don't like that. So here is something to think about. If your desire wasn't already available, if it wasn't already present in the quantum field, which is that subconscious mind, which is the infinite mind, which is your mind on an infinite scale, and that's where we go when we pray. We're in that infinite mind, and that mind is your mind. If it wasn't already there, available, you couldn't think it up. I couldn't think it up. So it's already there, just waiting for you to make a decision, waiting for you to take action, waiting for you to get passionate about what you want instead of scared to death about what you don't want. Anybody ever been scared to death about what you want? Me? Yeah. So that's our challenge and that's our opportunity to choose what we're going to do and what we're going to. So here are some clues to help you be successful with this. The first one, you're going to love this. Exchange your complaints for gratitude. Now, if I'm telling you the truth, if you did nothing but this one thing, and you really stuck to it and made it your life's purpose, your life would change so dramatically you wouldn't even recognize it. And it's sneaky little stuff. Sneaky. Now, why'd that truck move in front of me? I was doing just fine here. Why did he have to move over there? I didn't like that. I was going, now I have to slow down. He's in front of me, now I have to slow down. I was fine before. Why do you have to do that? Sneaky little dumb thoughts that go, you've got to catch them. You've got to catch them. So I'm going to offer you a challenge that you, along with me, will commit to 24 hours complaint-free, starting Monday morning, whenever you wake up, until you go to bed on Monday night. Think about it. It's not easy. It's possible, but it is not easy. Are you with me? Give it. Go for it. Go for it. Why not? It'll change your life. Absolutely. Because that's what I discovered when I was on the couch for 6 months and I was hating it. I've said this before, but not to all of you because all of you weren't here that day. But I was feeling a little sorry for myself. You know, I couldn't audition. I wasn't driving. Could go to San Diego and see my kids. Missed all the parties, all the birthdays, missed everything. And one day I opened my eyes and I said, Nancy B., open your eyes. Look around you. See how blessed you have been. How dare you complain about this little inconvenience in your life? And I started praising everything. I started praising this body that was trying so hard to heal itself and bring me back to full vitality, which I didn't have at the time. But I began praising everything. I talked to my heart. I talked to my legs. I talked to my mind. I talked to my whole body. And it began responding because I was appreciating it. And appreciation means the word to appreciate in a financial field, in a financial realm, means to increase in value. So when you appreciate something, it's going to increase in value. So what do you want to increase in value? Your scared little self? Or your big brave self? Or your trusting, let me put it that way, or your trusting self that just can stand firm right where you are, no bells ringing, no bands playing, just stand right where you are and know that everything you need is provided in the moment that you need it. It always has been, and it always will be. That's standing on for sure. The second one is that I keep getting is slow down. Not my favorite. But that was what I had to learn when I was on the couch. That was what I had to learn, because this type A squared personality that's go, go, do, faster, faster, better, better, go, go, do, it doesn't work anymore. We have to find kinder, gentler ways to deal with each other and ourselves, because we're killing ourselves the other way, and it's got to stop. I'm making that decision to stop. And the third thing is, as we age, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 92 today. And I was 92 in April. I'm still 92. Someday I'll be 93, but I'm not there yet. As we age, sometimes we need help. Sometimes you just need a little help. And if you do, don't be afraid to ask for it. So I was finally being able to drive my Camry to Vaughn's, which is 1 block away, buy my own groceries, and get them to the door, when I realized there was no way in hell I was going to get them to the car by myself. I had used up every ounce of energy I had, and I was done. So I saw a middle-aged black gentleman walking out the store, and I said, "Excuse me, sir, could I borrow your elbow? I'm feeling a little weak, and I don't think I can make it to the car." "Step right up, young lady," and takes me to the car. So here's a double blessing. Not only was I blessed, but he was blessed because he had an opportunity to do something good that made his heart feel good too. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Because people, if we approach them respectfully, and I always say sir in a situation like that, because they don't know me. I could be, I don't know, some weird person. I don't know. So anyway, he helped me to the car, and I got home. I got back, I got my groceries and everything. So, but I came to the conclusion, after writing all this and all these steps and all this stuff, that the source of abundance is really your mind. Because your mind is where you're going to decide what you're going to believe, what you're going to decide, and what you're going to take action on. So the source, the infinity, is always there. But you have to make a decision to line up with that if you want to accomplish your goals. You have to make a decision to move. And you remember the movie Eat, Pray, Love? Remember that? Well, that's why I wrote it this way. So it's pray, decide, act. Say that with me. It's pray, decide, act. Do it again. Pray, decide, act. One more time. Pray, decide, act. With consistency. Because it takes 3 times for it to stay there. And think about the movie, Eat, Pray, Love, and then you'll remember it. Pray, decide, act. With consistency. And when you do that, you will be astounded at how Spirit will show up in your life in ways you could not have imagined, beyond your imagination, and yet it will be in full alignment with the word that you spoke. Absolutely. So if you have your piece of paper about with the Oath of Manifestation that was written by Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, pull that out. And if you don't have it, just follow me. I love this. This was my mantra through that period in 2024. This was my mantra, and I'm going to say it once because I want you to say it like I'm saying it. I am constantly guided and boldly empowered to receive the lavish abundance of the universe. So say it with me. I am constantly guided and boldly empowered to receive the lavish abundance of the universe. And so it is. Namaste. Well, that was fun. And guess what? I get to come back and do it again next month. Woohoo! Thank you, dear ones. Let's have some music, right? Prayer first. Okay, of course, pray before music and music before and after. So take a deep breath with me. And settle into your chair. Feel how it supports you. There's no effort there. No struggle. You're fully supported, your feet solid on the ground. Your breath coming with ease. Your heart beating with no effort on your part. Life is living you. Be grateful. So as I speak this word for the Bakersfield Center for Spiritual Living, I speak it for everyone who has ever walked through these doors and ever will walk through these doors, knowing that each and every one are an absolute incarnation of the divine. That they think with the mind of God, speak with the voice of God, hear with the ears of God, and love with the heart of God. And so I speak this word knowing that each and every person here goes out filled. They do not go out the same way they came in. They have been changed. Each one has been changed by something they thought, something they heard, something they let go of, something they realized, something they embraced. And so each one goes out a changed individual, a changed person. And they bring the energy of love and life and peace and joy and all of the attributes of the divine out into their world, into their homes, into their business, on the freeways, into Vaughn's, Ralph's, Market, whatever, Stater Brothers. We're going all over the place these days. And we love the cashiers, and we thank them for their patience with us when we goof up. And we do sometimes. We thank our gardeners. We thank our electricians. We thank the people that work the freeways to make our driving safe. We thank our community and our state and our nation and our world that we can still walk on the streets without fear of being shot, without fear of being taken in and tortured and killed. People are still trying to get in, not trying to get out. God bless America. And so I'm so grateful for this truth that I know. I'm grateful for the truth that resonates in every heart, in every mind, in every home, in every business. And I give thanks. I give great, great thanks. And knowing that my word accomplishes that for which I sent it, I just let it go. Having done my part, I let go and let God do the greater part, and so it is. And so we let it be. Amen.